Number 10. Metro 2033. I do somewhat enjoy this game. I like the atmosphere and I think some of the actors are pretty good, but everything else doesn't work. The combat is slow and wonky, the AI is stupid and it doesn't know how to properly move around in its surroundings, and the game's story and universe doesn't make sense. If the air is poisoned, then why doesn't it reach underground? So technically, all the humans should have died years ago. It sucks that this game turned out so bad, because I really like the concept of this universe. I haven't played Last Light, but what I heard is mostly the same. I hope they make a third game just to see if they can improve. Number 9. Half-Life 2. Okay, let's start with the presentation first. The graphics are great, but the animations are horrible. All the characters looks like they are made out of dead ragdolls. The sound effects are okay, but the music gives me a migraine. The gameplay isn't that much better. The gameplay is very generic. They didn't try to innovate it whatsoever. Hell, even games that came out before this had more innovative gameplay, like Halo and Battlefield. Half-Life is obviously a clone of those games, but if you're gonna rip them off, then try to do something new with the mechanics. But even if the gameplay was enjoyable, the game is too glitchy to play. Number 8. Devil May Cry 3. This game has its moments, and by that I only mean a few seconds in the cutscenes. The character models look like something from a Nintendo 64 game. The voice actors sound retarded, and don't get me started on the combat. It's extremely frustrating and cheap. The enemies deals and takes too much damage, and they are faster than the player. I can only see no life hack and slash experts beat this game.
Seriously, if you're gonna beat this game, you need to get alive.
Also, Dante is an unlikable prick. If I ever made a top 10 words to video game characters, he would be definitely on it. Instead of playing this game, you should go play God of War. Number 7. Star Wars Battlefront. Since this is a competitive shooter, I expected much more from it. First of all, it only supports up to 16 players. Now compare that to Battlefield 3 and 4. Those games holds up to 64 players. That's more than half! They were obviously too lazy to make this game as big and engaging as possible. Star Wars games are known for mostly big shit, and intelligent people knows that you should not spend your cash on them. But of course, never mind, the Star Wars fans are gonna buy it anyway. Oh yeah, the community in this game also sucked. Number 6. Metal Gear Solid. Stealth games are bad, and that's a well-known fact. But if everyone knows it, then why does Metal Gear get a free pass? It's not that much better than any other stealth game. I can't speak for the sequels, but what I can say for this installment, it's horrible. The graphic looks ancient, and the character models don't even have mouth movements when they speak. And the stealth? God, is it so basic. It's clearly just designed for idiots. It's so basic that it becomes so boring that it becomes so frustratingly annoying. So yeah, it's so basic that it frustrates me. And when you're not playing the game, you're listening to 2-hour conversations that never ends. This game might as well just be a movie. And what's worse than the game itself is the game's fandom. When they give this game the smallest amount of criticism, that fans will attack it like a pack of dogs. The only reason why this game isn't higher on the list is because of its story. It's decent, other than that, this game sucks. And so does the fans. Number 5. Little Big Planet. What was the point of this game's existence? Mascot platforms are outdated by today's gaming industry. So who in the right mind would want to play this game beside man-children? And even if I wanted to go play a cartoony platformer, I would just go play Mario. But even then, the game itself isn't that good. The platforming is heavily based on physics, which makes precise jumps very awkward. And the story has too many plot holes. For example, you start up in medieval Europe, and then later on in the story, you end up in Japan. That makes no sense. And what about the characters? Well, their personalities are fine, but some of the character models looks hideous. One of the big draw points of this game is the level creation, but the design tools are clearly designed for kids in mind, which means it's bare bones and obviously not worth your time. I've tried some of the levels made by the community, and most of them were either poorly designed, awfully childish, or just plain dull. Number 4. BioShock. Have you ever wondered what would happen if game developers ran out of ideas and started making bare-bones RPGs? This is the result. Since kids these days are too stupid to grasp RPGs, this is what 2K thought. Hey, why not make a simplified RPG to cater to the casual market? And that's exactly what happened. BioShock is nothing more but an idiotic game that tries to be as accessible as possible. It takes RPG elements and puts it into an FPS. None of the shooting elements or even RPG elements work. And why the hell would you even put elements together in the first place? It makes no sense. The combat is repetitive, the enemies are cheap, and the levels are too confusing to navigate. And to top it all off, the game is not scary. Oh yeah, by the way, this game also tries to be a survival horror game. So BioShock tries to put 3 genres into one, and as you could imagine, it doesn't work. Number 3. Shenmue. After playing this, I really hope Shenmue 3 bombs. This game does not deserve a second sequel, or even one sequel for that matter. The objective of this game is to talk to strangers and drive forklifts, and that's really it. Besides some minigames, this is just a walk and talk simulator. So yeah, who the hell want to play this shit? It's barely even a game. I wouldn't care much if it had a good story. But the story is so fucking boring and uninteresting. And the fans surrounding this game is even worse than the Metal Gear fans. All the Shenmue fans are just a bunch of snobby douchebags. Number 2. Red Dead Redemption. By the time this game was released, no one cared about spaghetti westerns anymore. So what was even the point to play this game in 2010? The Wild West concept has been dead since the early 90s. Even if this game wasn't in the Wild West, it still shows it out of ideas, because this game is a complete GTA ripoff. A lot of the mechanics, like the gunplay and the story, are just like GTA, but worse. But that's not the worst part. Even if this game was good, it wouldn't matter, because it's so freaking laggy. It's so laggy in fact that it's almost unplayable. What's the point of playing a game if you almost can't play it? If the developers knew what they were doing and knew how to code a game, then maybe this game would have been decent. But instead, it's a laggy mess. Number 1. Batman Arkham Asylum. This game had a lot of potential. I always wanted to play a Batman game where you can strike down thugs like in the comics. I bought this game day 1, and ever since then, it has been the biggest disappointment in my whole life. The gameplay in the story is okay, it's nothing special. So why is this on number 1, you may think? The reason why I put this game on number 1 is because of its high level of racism. Let me explain. Batman is the protagonist of this game, and he's dressed in black, which means that he's portrayed as a black man. And the Joker is the antagonist, and his skin is pale white, so obviously he is portrayed as a white man. So what the game is trying to tell you is that black people are heroes, and white people are evil. So yes, I have come to the conclusion that this is an anti-white propaganda game. I can't believe this game got so high scores. If you like this game, you should be ashamed of yourself. Thanks for watching.